No box checking, let's go. Yeah. No box checking, let's go. No.
Yo, welcome back to No Box Checking Podcast. I'm your host, Fonz. I got my guy, Mr. Mindset here, Curtis.
What's up? How y'all doing?
And, last time I called him the solution. I don't know, what does he have underneath this?
Go ahead and say it, Fonz. Come on, man. I want to hear it. I want to hear
Arabian
it.
Stallion.
There we go. Say it. Hey, say it one more time, Fonz.
No, I'm not saying it again.
All right.
There's a female rapper that goes by Stallion also.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused what a Stallion is now, Moose.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, hey, look, welcome back. No Box Checking, another episode where we don't just check boxes, we make an impact. Today's episode, this is episode 4, you guys. We've been rocking and rolling, getting a lot of feedback, a lot of input, and people had a lot to say about us and what we're bringing. So today, on this episode, we want to talk about low performance salesperson versus high performing salesperson. Now, y'all know every now and then I gotta throw a screwdriver in the mix. I gotta get it hot up in here. So tonight I want to get it hot. Okay, is a high performance salesperson based off the dealership they performing at?
No, sir.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it could be based off the dealership they're performing at. I mean, but it's the person that is doing what they need to do to perform at a high level, Fonz. I mean, yeah, you need to be at a dealership with the right inventory and the right mix of whatever, but it's the person. I mean, you see these top performing salespeople, not just in one dealership, you see them across different franchises, different manufacturers, because what they did is they found something that works for them. They went out there and did something different than what the average salesperson's doing, reaching out to the community, getting out there, and that's what makes them better than the average salesperson.
Okay, so not based off just high performance is based off at your dealership. Like we hear a lot like my customers are different.
But yeah, that's the truth.
right. My customers are different. So I'm asking y'all, is the dealership different? Or is a high performance salesperson different because of that dealership they in, Curtis?
So, hot take here. I'm gonna give a little controversial statement.
Okay. All right.
So, I mentioned in the first episode, is there like a flashback button? Can we have a flashback to first episode? So, when I first started selling cars, I lived in Washington State. I lived in Tacoma, Washington. I worked at a Toyota store. And we had the number one service department in the state of Washington, a densely populated part of the state. Okay. You get a lot more ups at a place like that. Versus when I moved back to Louisiana, I worked in a used car store in the back of an auto mall, and you might get one. I mean, this was a long time ago, right? But you might get one up every other day, right? So, it kind of depends. That was also a luxury store. The used car store was tied to luxury stores. But I think kind of going back to what Moose is saying, like so many times we judge a salesperson by how many cars they sell. But we kind of that's kind of a skewed number because what is the salesperson actually doing for the dealership? Is he just selling cars? Or is he selling cars and retaining those customers, and giving them a good experience, giving
Or
good
is he creating those sales at that dealership?
Sure. Is he creating those sales for the dealership? So, I would say, and look, let me tell you something. People are people. But I will say this, people in Washington State are a little different than the people in Louisiana. I will say that.
They just don't have that accent that you have, man.
Look, we like to be loved on a little bit down here. You got to love on us and rub and hug, for us to buy something for you. But we'll be your friend for life. Up there, it's a little faster pace. But, the high performers, they have similar traits, right? Like high impact people have similar traits. And I'll let you go from there, Fonz.
So Moose, the reason why I throw that out there like that is because I think some people think because of where they at, what dealership they at, what brand they at what they're doing is just okay. They letting all those excuses put a lid on what they could really do. I mean, we had this conversation before, Moose. We
Yes,
talk
we
about it all the
did.
time.
All the time.
How people can let the elements, change who they are and not let them grow.
Well, I mean, if you don't mind me real quick, I mean, we talk about
I'm not cutting you off, man.
Look,
I'm asking,
Fonz, I mean,
I'm
Moose,
asking you,
if you
Moose.
want to talk, you got to pay him under the table a little bit.
we
I got
talk
his
about
Venmo
you
on
know what we
speed
talk
dial.
about we talk about self-imposed limitations. That's what you're
Yeah.
describing right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
You know,
okay, okay.
across
It's a more
across
intelligent way to say it, Curtis.
that's it, right? I mean, it is an intelligent. I'm trying, man. Look, I mean, y'all put me on camera, I'm meant to seem like I'm a little more intelligent than I am. So, but think about it. You go into a dealership. I mean, we talked about this the last couple times when we did this. I mean, you are a person entering a business, whether you've been there a year, 2 years, 5 years, however. And the people before you set the pace of what they think that can be done at that dealership, right? People fall in line because naturally they believe what the people told them. But top performers, Fonz, at these stores, at these brands, at these people that, man, my customers are different. They don't buy into that stuff. What they do is focus on providing an experience. Focus on being better. Man, focus on just doing better than what the person doing down the street is. And that's what takes you to that next level.
I say that, and we talking a lot about salespeople, but really and truly, this podcast is about the whole front.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you'll have an F&I manager that's touching 25, 30 deals a month, maybe 20 deals a month. And he or she's complained saying, well, this dealership, I don't get enough touches. What you mean? You got to maximize the 25 or 30 that you're getting. If the finance penetration is low, you can't complain and say, well, the finance penetration is low is the reason why all my product penetration is low. No, you got to be able to maximize what you got. What you being fed, you gotta grow from it and increase. So don't let the dealership or whatever that mindset of what's been going on at that dealership put a lid on you. I've seen leaders go into dealerships that were not performing well at all, and everybody had an excuse, and they go in and blow this thing up.
Yep.
Blow it up. Become
Yep.
like the number one dealership in the state, number one in the country. We see that. So I like to open up with that because I need people to open their mindset. But we kind of always talk about mindset because I think what we do, you have to have the right mindset. So I believe there's a difference. See if y'all on the same page with me. I believe there's a difference in the mindset between a low performance salesperson and a high performance salesperson. What's some of those differences that you see, Moose, out there between a low performance salesperson and a high performance salesperson?
I mean, look, Fonz, you could talk about the basics. All right. Showing up on time. All right. Doing what you're supposed to do when you come to work. All right. Hopping in, digging into your leads. Going out there and setting the example, working service, right? Versus on the other end, am I the first person at the dealership? Am I there trying to work every opportunity rather than sitting back and saying what you said earlier and say, man, I can't. These are the opportunities. I don't have touches. These type of customers over here are different at my dealership. That's low performing. Versus the top, y'all, they don't have the self-imposed limitations. I'm going to use that big word again. They don't have them. They don't believe that there's anything they can't do. And they figure it out. And that's the biggest difference. Curtis, what you think?
So I think,
Mr. Mindset, about to go deep.
Well, low performers, they kind of go with the flow. They have good months too. They have good months. It's like when everything aligns for them perfectly. They have good months. They kind of go with the flow. If business is good, they might have a good month. They might get lucky. Whatever. But top performers, well, they accept challenges. And I think one of the things that I see top performers doing is they don't really have limits. Their goals keep going up and up, and they don't listen to the negative um, narrative that's around, that says that you can't do it. I'm going to use a little example, but one of a family member of mine went to work at a place, and me and my brother actually worked together. And he went to a place, and at this place, the guy that was training him told him, "Well, we don't do things like that here. It doesn't work like that here. We do our deals
Mm.
different." And
Try to destroy him as soon as he walked in the door.
Yep.
this guy had been there for a long time, was their top salesperson, and my brother ended up being the top salesperson there within like 2 months. And just, I mean, now he's in management, which was a short time later. And the conversation I would have with him from the outside, of course, we're brothers, and it's like, I mean, we're hard on each other, we push each other and to be the best that we can be. And I said, go show them how good you are, you know, show up, like show them, like, I mean, I hate to cuss, but show them what a badass you really are, and don't listen to them, and do the things that you know that are right. Follow the process that you've been taught, and capitalize on them being weak.
So what happened to that so-called top performing salesperson?
He's not there anymore.
He's not there anymore. See, it's
Amazing.
crazy. So that's why we got you. You have to be careful when you talk about top performance. That's why we didn't say top performance. We said
Yep.
high performance
Yep.
performing
Yeah.
salespeople, right? Because sometimes the top performing salesperson, the salesperson that sells the most cars, is the most toxic
Yes. Yes.
salesperson in the dealership. And it's like,
Usually.
yeah, and it's like when they leave, then everybody else start rising.
Everybody blossoms when that cancer is gone.
The cancer is gone, So don't be the top performer that's a cancer and you're skating everybody and you're stabbing everybody in the back so you can have all the numbers, because it's
Hiding
gonna catch up
keys.
with you. Hiding
Hiding
keys,
keys.
hiding keys, throwing the keys. Well, back in the day, man. Throw the keys on the roof, baby.
So what about processes?
So look, low performers, they, Curtis said something earlier. He said, even a low performer will have a high, and then they go down in a valley, and they come up a little bit, and they go down the valley, come up, they'll have a high, and they go back down. And that's because low performers usually do not have a process. And if they do have a process, they quit it immediately. Like the month is going along, and they 3 or 4 days in, and they got one car out, they have no cars out, and they're like, oh, I gotta try something different. And they go try something totally different. Didn't even vet it, didn't even talk to anybody to see if it would work. And they clean the chalkboard, wipe it down, go start something different. And then 3 or 4 days later goes on, they sell another 1, 2 cars. Oh, let me try something else. And they never stick to the process. The thing about a process, man, sometimes it may not be working at the beginning, but if you stick to it, it's like something magical happens and it all just starts flowing for you. I talked about this in the first segment about being 3 days to the end of the month and you don't have enough money to pay your mortgage, enough commission to pay your mortgage. Um, so I was going through a rough month. I changed some things, I got my cap and gown. I knew all the lowest interest rates. I knew all the rebates. I knew all the negotiating tactics. And I took everything from all the deals that we grind on and started bringing it to the next month and started
Yep.
working deals the wrong way.
Yep.
And look, I got cute. Let me tell you what I did. So I love this smell of clean linen. I love the smell of clean linen. So we had little cubicle, little offices, and I went and got a clean linen Glades plug-in, and I plugged it into my office. And man, it's like my sales just died. And I'm like, what's going on? So my manager comes in, and I'm like, man, I'm like, the month's ending. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't have enough money to pay my mortgage, my car note. things like that. I had a little savings, but you don't ever want to go into your savings, right?
Right.
That's a whole nother episode. So my manager comes in. I will say I had a great leader. He comes in and we start role playing. He's like, let's role play some things out. And he's like, what is that smell? I was like, man, that's clean linen. What you doing, man? Like, that's my jam. Like, he's like, bro, it is super strong in here. You're trying to kill us. And
The
I was
eyes
like,
are burning.
really? Y'all, I unplugged the plug-in, sold 3 cars that day.
No way.
No, I'm telling you, I pulled it out, sold 3 cars, and I can play it back, and I can see customers just trying to get out of my office. They were just trying to get out of there because I went and I changed something up. I tried to get cute and freshen things up. And my manager told me, he said, man, look, wash your tail every night, maybe take a shower in the morning, put some deodorant on and brush your teeth. Don't
gonna
put
be
all that
great.
cologne on because people don't like all that cologne smell, all those fragrances and all that. Keep that to a minimum. You're pushing people away.
Yeah.
You know, I was falling into that low performing salesperson thing, trying to get all cute. And instead of being like a high performer and saying, well, let me work on my greeting. Let me work on my open-ended questions so I can have a real conversation with people and bring no fakeness. You know, let me go and do my walk-arounds and do my presentation demonstration. So instead of worrying about a presentation demonstration that month, I was worried about how good my office smelled. I was drowning. So, what about you, Curtis, on the process?
Well, it's kind of funny that I'm known as Mr. Mindset because in retail they knew me as Mr. Process. I think having a process that you believe in. One, you have to believe in your process and you have to know it works, and then you have to follow it. And doing the same thing over and over. One, it just makes you so good at it. You're so comfortable. It's not even you don't even know you're doing the process anymore. You're just doing it and it becomes so natural. Um, and the more you practice it, so we were talking about desperation earlier, people changing things. It's like people want to get away from the process and shortcut things because, well, they're desperate. That's usually what happens. They're
Oh, they don't have
desperate
that confidence.
Yeah.
they don't have confidence. Yeah. And it's, the process is not there for you when the people are walking through the door. So it's, the last day in January and everybody's trying to buy stuff for tax reasons. That's not what the process is there for when you're on your high. The process is there when, you couldn't sleep the night before, on the way to work, the significant other calls you and tells you that the air conditioner's out and it's 100 degrees in Louisiana and, kid got in trouble at school or whatever, you don't feel up to it. The process is there for you on the days when you're not just everything's just falling in line, right? And the more you practice it, the better you get at it, and it just becomes so natural for you when you're doing it. It's just a conversation.
Yep.
So, Moose, you brought up the process, man. What do you feel?
Well, I mean, I think it's the most important. Curtis said you got to love the process, man. I don't care if you love the process, just do a process. Curtis, you nailed it. Processes prevent bad days. You have a bad day, you could just hop on your process and you know what to do. But y'all, it is the roadmap to everything. Whether you're selling cars, whether you're a sales manager, whether you're an F&I, it is the roadmap. It is the steps to, I hate to say command control, but to control the customer's experience. That's the process. And when you don't follow it and when you don't get on it, that's when kinks are in the armor and the whole machine starts to fall apart because you became a wise guy and decided that I know better than this whole machine of these things that have been. Don't do it, y'all.
No,
Just
I did it.
adapt a process. Go out there
Well,
and demo cars. Go out there, provide alternatives. Go out there and greet customers with energy and enthusiasm. And then, Fonz, you know what you had? You had something special, man. You had a leader and a mentor that
Mhm.
was able to pull you out, right?
Yep.
So sales managers, F&I managers, GSMs, y'all are the ones that have to lead your people. You're the ones that have to design the roadmap and keep them on the road. And you know when the office smells funny, tell them the office smells funny. When they
Or
Well,
they
put
didn't
on
brush
that
their teeth or
deodorant,
put
put on,
deodorant
right?
on. Tell
But
them.
that's
Yeah.
why the simple things, right? But that's why you are there. So let's
Yeah.
roll.
Yeah,
Well, Moose,
yeah.
I want to
You
talk
know,
about the process a
yeah.
second. What about when you sell a car? What about when you sell a car and you didn't do the process right?
Yeah, you
There's
shortcutting
a
your money.
there's a lot of stuff that can happen. One, you probably didn't make the money that you could have. What about signing a car on the wrong VIN or
Ain't
something?
that the truth?
Right.
What's the
Correct.
customer's experience then?
Terrible. Went in the trash. You know, so Moose, so shout out to the sales managers, GSMs, dealers, dealer principal. I know a lot of you do it, but when's the last time you did that one-on-one? It's easy to go into a room full of salespeople and try to motivate them and find out what they got planned for today. But that one-on-one, that's the
Powerful.
difference maker. They say people leave people, they don't leave jobs.
That's the truth. So Fonz, man, you say this, it reminds me. Look, I had a GSM that was similar to the guy that pulled me out, right? I told you guys that I came from a store doing all the stuff that's wrong, but I had a guy that put you on the road that showed you how to do it the hard way, right? Now, one-on-ones, Fonz, what you're talking about. You know what he used to tell me, Fonz and Curtis? All right, because as a strong person, I naturally was navigating towards my salespeople that were like, hey, man, at 8, I could turn them into a 10 or 12. Man, I could 7 to a 10. Man, you want to be a badass? Go grab the guy that's struggling that's got 3 cars out. Go out there and lift them up. And I'm going to tell you what, when you feel that and you change somebody's life as a leader with whatever position you're in, it's the most rewarding thing out there.
And what we notice is that high performers, they want a process.
Yes, they do.
High performers, they want the one-on-one. The low performer, they don't want the one-on-one.
No.
They don't want the
No.
training. They don't want to go to training. High performer, like, hey, look, I'll go to
Give
training.
it to me. Let's go.
I go to training. So, that's following the process. That's the difference between a low performer and a high performer is, having a process and following that process and not deviating from it. So, and again, you leaders, step up, because these people out there, they need you. You're the manager sitting next to you. Guess what? They need you. They need you also. So, I'm gonna talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Prospecting.
Yup, let's go.
Okay.
I thought you were going to
Prospecting.
talk about clean linen again.
How you know it was Glade? I didn't say it was Glade.
You said Glade.
I said Glade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
said
said
Glade.
Glade.
I
You
thought
took me
said
back.
Glade.
That was a
Yeah.
long time ago. Glade clean linen.
Man, that stuff smelled good, man. I had it in my house, and then my wife, when I started dating her, she was cooking hamburgers, and when I came home back from the dealership, I had fresh hamburgers, and she took all my clean linen out and put some teak wood. That's what it was called. She put teak wood smell throughout my house. She lucky she my wife today. She messed with my smell. She lucky. So, but I want to talk about prospecting because there is a huge difference between prospecting between a low performer and a high performer. What are some of the difference you guys notice between a low performer and a high performer when it comes to prospecting?
So, Fonz, I'll say it. I mean, you said it in one of the episodes. I mean, not promoting yourself. I mean, you're a car salesman, but you don't want to post it on all your social media, right? You are ashamed of the persona of the industry that you're in. That's a low performer and a weak mindset, Mr. Mindset. But the high performers are constantly promoting themselves. Hey, Fonz, you are Mr. Prospect. That's what we should have put this on here, right? Hey, the story that one day you'll share here, what you developed the knit in your community. But y'all, that's what it's about. It's about investing in something, going out there and making somebody feel different, making them feel special, taking time away from the store and go out and purchase and be a consumer in your community. And guess what? It's going to pay you back.
Curtis?
Yeah, I think yeah, this is kind of cliche, I guess, but creating your own opportunities. And,
Mhm.
different people are different. We've talked about branding before or, branding yourself. So when I lived in Washington State, I mean, everybody knew me as I was 20 years old and yeah, everybody knew me as the kid from Louisiana. He was a young kid with a southern accent, and
Yeah.
it was and then when I moved back home, at the time I had a goatee and this was a long time ago, but I had all my hair. Um, and at the time, everybody called me Tebow, and even the customers knew me as Tebow. And it was funny. They would be like they would want me to do the prayer celebration where he would get on down on one knee, when he would make a touchdown, Tim Tebow. And it was like a joke, but everybody knew me. They would come in, they'd be like, "Hey, is Tebow here?" And some of the guys that still know me from back then, they still call me Tebow.
Man, you got a lot of nicknames, bro.
I do. I
Yeah.
lived a few lives, but it's like branding yourself and then having a good brand, that people respect you, that you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do. The old cliche thing of, under promise and over deliver. It's whenever you surprise somebody and go above and beyond, they never forget that. But if you tell somebody you're gonna do something and you don't do enough,
I never forget.
they never forget that either.
Hmm. So, Moose, earlier you talked about one of the episodes. I can't remember which one it is. Again, Curtis, we probably need some rollbacks. Uh, you talked about the CRM, right? There's a difference how a low performer works a CRM and a high performer works CRM. What's that difference?
Percent. So
Left
again,
voicemail.
yeah, again, I mean, left voicemail, left voicemail, left voicemail. Y'all, your CRM tool in 2026 is the differentiator between being a low performer and a top performer in how you navigate your customer base. Because Fonz, the importance of it is that you got a virtual showroom and these customers are inquiring through it, and we doing low performers, they're checking boxes.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing is they're going through the motions because a sales manager, a GSM, a GM is telling them to do these things. But y'all, these are customers. These are opportunities. This is an opportunity to sell a car, to create a relationship. You know what the top performers are doing, Fonz? They digging in with their customers. They don't need a CRM. The CRM is great, but they keep in touch with their customer,
Stay in touch with them.
right? They leverage their customers, y'all. Man, if you give a customer a great experience, Curtis, what's the likelihood of them sharing that with their friends and family? Look, we are, I mean, in the world that we're in, Fonz, I think you mentioned this the other day. Y'all, customer service is something that is gone. I'm not talking about anything revolutionary. I'm talking about little minute things to differentiate yourself from the rest. Give a customer a good experience. And then pick up the phone, follow up for them, actually truly care about them, and then ask them for something in return for the great experience that you gave them.
Work,
Referrals.
work that CRM. Work that CRM. High performers, like you said, they don't really need a CRM. They got it right here. They got that phone glued to their hands and their hip, and they're always trying to stay in front of their people. I talked to a guy today that says he teaches and he's done to follow up with every customer you sell every 30 days. I'm like, bro, that's extreme. But he has a salesperson that he implemented that process with. She sells 36 cars, and I think she's only like 4 years in the business. And not even
That's
from the
awesome.
state that she's living in. Crazy,
That is
you know.
crazy.
But the follow-up is just amazing. So this is my thing right here. It's my jam right here is prospecting, because I think that's where it starts at. A lot of processes start with the meet and greet, but I think the meet and greet actually lies to a new salesperson. When you teach them the meet and greet as the first step, now, we don't want to, with this podcast, we don't want to talk about breaking up people's processes and all that. But I would like for you to just think about keeping something, maybe you're putting the meet and greet and prospecting together or putting the prospecting first. Because as a salesperson, as a new salesperson, you teach me meet and greet. I think when I hit the floor,
Step
I'm
one.
going to meet 100 people.
meet and greets on your virtual showroom. It's in the CRM.
It's in the CRM. Or it's that old list that we used to do. My mom, my dad, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my Barbara, my insurance agent, the person that's at the grocery store that I go to and get my gum from, or cigarettes or whatever. Maybe even the weed man. We don't know.
Hey, it is car business, Fonz.
It is a car business, right? Let's just be real about it. It is a car business. We don't condone. But prospecting, look,
You said we don't condone. I love it.
prospecting. The thing about prospecting for the high performers realize I can't be everywhere. I'm in the dealership a lot. I can't be everywhere. So I have to activate my squad. I got to get my people selling cars for me. I got to get a team around me. Mom, dad, uncle, brother, old co-workers, insurance agents. I got to get that team activated, the sheriff. I got to get that team activated to selling cars for me. Y'all, I remember my brother was a general manager of a Pizza Hut in a small town. And I created these big cars. They were bigger than postcards. They had my face on it. Thought I was cute.
Yeah.
And they had on there, it's a new year, you need a new car. And I printed up a bunch of them. I took him some. I took my sister-in-law some that worked at a administration office and had a lot of people that go through there. And my brother would put them up front. Boy, he's proud of me. He'll put them up front. And for months, y'all, I never saw a customer come that I knew of, right? Somebody could have skated me and took my customer, but I never really saw a customer. But guess what, Moose? I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. And then one day, this little lady walks in and everybody's running to go catch the up. And she has this card in her hand. And it's got pizza sauce all over it.
Yeah.
She like, I'm looking for this guy.
Yep.
And I'm like, it worked.
Yep.
And I sold her a car. Y'all, the cards just started coming in. People started coming in with the cards. Months old, all wrinkled up and dirty, pizza sauce on it, ranch dressing, all that on it. And they were coming in looking for this little dude named Alfonso that they called Fonz. I never had a nickname as a childhood. I'll tell you a story about that. A little elderly lady named me Fonz, nicknamed me Fonz, and I just stuck with it. Looking for Fonz with these pizza cards. But that's the process, right? I did not stop. I just kept going and kept going and kept going. Y'all, everybody, y'all probably think I'm joking with this and I'm lying. Everybody who came in with that card, I sold them a car. Everybody
awesome.
who came in with that card, I sold them a car. I don't know who would thinking about prospecting at Pizza Hut, but I wanted to prospect everywhere. I tried to put my little cute face everywhere I could, my name, and try to sell some cars. Again, I covered up my little booty chin, put my little beard on, and we're gonna sell some cars. So top performers realize that they got to get other people working for them. My brother was working for me. He was letting everybody know that I sell cars and that they needed to go see me. Your own mom and dad will forget to tell somebody that you sell cars.
Hey, we know you double first cousin.
It's a whole nother podcast, Moose. I'm my double first cousin. Now you're gonna make a mess. They're gonna be all messed up now.
Like,
Double
who
first
is your
cousin. Now
double
people gonna
first
think
cousin?
like I'm inbred or something. My eye kind of twitched a little bit. But high performers are about prospecting. They work social media. They text their customers. I still do it to this day, man. I'll just go through my phone and just start texting people. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? And I don't even have to talk to them about buying a car. They know what I do. And they were like, hey, yeah, my wife's looking at she want a third row SUV or whatever. I'm like, okay, all right. Let's go. You know? So, but
So,
that's the
Fonz,
difference.
I want to jump in here real quick too. So I think making an impression on people is part of prospecting, because how many salespeople do we know that they sold a car to somebody 3 months before that person, or 2 months before that person comes in and get a license plate, and they can't remember who their salesperson
Preach,
was.
Curtis. Preach.
And I just think that, you gotta make an impression on people. You gotta connect with them. Um, we're all from the South. I feel like, the South is, we're people. We have backyard barbecues and all that kind of stuff. But you gotta figure out how to. I'm gonna tell y'all a story real quick. So one of my last deals that I did in retail, I was actually backing up the finance guy. He was out of town, and I was talking to this customer, and we were kind of going. I mean, we had a good relationship, but he was kind of being difficult. We actually closed the deal, and we were talking, and he started talking about riding a motorcycle. Well, then I told him that I rode a motorcycle, right? And we get to talking about motorcycles and everywhere we'd ridden and who we rode with and all that kind of stuff. And he said, "Man, if if I had known that you rode motorcycles, I would have bought that stuff." I said, "The beautiful thing for you, sir, is that I could reprint all this paperwork." And he did. He bought like 3 products and whatever. But it's making an impression and connecting with people, because it doesn't, if you don't do that, following up with them really doesn't matter,
Yep, that's
because they don't want to talk to you.
And Curtis, that's important because people lose sight that this is a big purchase for the customer.
Yeah.
They are happy to make this purchase. They're excited, but they scared. So you know what? If you give them that good experience and you start talking to them and you start building rapport and finding common ground with these customers, you start chipping at that wall, and guess what? Man, you're making a friend. You're having a real conversation and finding out what these customers' needs are and showing them that you care and you're passionate about the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, some people think, when it comes down to being a high performer, that to sell a good bit of cars and this and that, is they use that one of the best negotiating tactics out there. How low can you go?
Yeah.
Hey, what's that? What, they put the little broomstick
Limbo.
and you gotta go on
How
and you
low
gotta go
can you
underneath it. How
go?
low can you go? So they think, how low can you go? Y'all, it's not about dollars and cents. It's not. People pay all kind of prices and things like that. What's a good deal to them, right? Just connect with the person. Connect with the person. Take care of them. Prospect well. Work your CRM like you're supposed to, and you could be a high performer. Stop thinking, I don't need this process. Y'all gonna hear me talk about this a lot, but well, when I got this type of customer, I like to do it this way.
Yeah.
And I got this type of customer, I like to do it this way. And then this
Yeah.
type of customer, I like to do it this way. Well,
Mhm.
guess what? You ain't that doggone good.
Yup.
None of us are. We're not that good. Stop it. Have a process, follow your dealership's process, implement your personality, your tenacity, your energy, and watch the magic happen. Watch the magic happen. One other thing I just want to talk about is that some people think that it takes talent. Now, talent, we're not going to shy away from talent. All of us will accept talent, right? But I will say for myself, start selling cars until this day, I'm not a very talented person. I have to work hard at this. And working hard at this, let me rewind. I used to work hard at this. Now I work smart at this. There's a difference. You can grind till your guts fall out and not get anywhere. But if you work smart and you got that plan, you got that process to get to that goal, that's when it really starts happening. So what I want to get you guys' perspective on talent. Does it take talent to be the high performer?
No, sir.
If it
No,
don't take talent, what?
it doesn't. I mean, everything we just laid out. I mean, we went through and we talked about characteristics. Did you hear me, you, Curtis, say talent? Look, there's some talented people out there. But look, y'all don't shoot me, talented people. But what I find is the people that are naturally talented, man, they take the path of least resistance because I got the talent, right? Man, because I'm like you, Fonz. Man, I wasn't the best closer. I wasn't anything, but you tell me what, you put me on a process, I'm going to do that process 100% of the time, and I'm going to provide an experience. So there's no talent involved.
You like the way you say that, Curtis? I'm gonna provide an experience.
Yeah.
He
About,
took them
man.
down a lane, baby.
What it's about.
I thought we were talking about love again.
I said, I got my wife, y'all. I provided an experience.
No, I agree with Moose. I think that, hard work, dedication, and I think that, you develop skills, right? You can develop skills. And your skills are your processes and the things you train on. And there's some really talented people out there naturally, and I'm sure we'll talk about that at some other time. But there's some people out there that when they talk, it's like, man, that's like poetry, you know. But they're usually the ones, they struggle because they're used to getting by without doing all the extra stuff.
Everything else around them eventually affects them.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
They end up consuming too much of something or doing the wrong things because they just so talented. It just
Yeah,
come to them so easy.
I
So
mean,
if you're that talented person, just make sure you have a process with your talent. And if you're not that talented person, follow the process and just make a friend. Just go out there and have a freaking good time. And try your best not to use clean linen in your sales office because
let's
I
go.
I done already tried that technique and
It don't work.
it just doesn't work. So
It might have got better since Glade.
it might not.
Because
Look, my wife got all kind of expensive candles around here. I don't know if y'all know anything about candles, but man,
Essential oils, Fonz. That's what
essentials
it's
oil,
about.
that's what I put on my body.
Yeah.
Hey, any last takes, Curtis?
man, I think we hit a lot of good stuff. I think, we talked about process a lot, and you have to decide that you're going to do it. And once you decide that you're going to follow the process and get really good at it and do it all the time, come to work with good energy, you'll be successful.
Yes, sir. What about the Arabian stallion?
So I will tell you guys this, Fonz. This is episode 4?
Yeah, 4.
Y'all, I say this a lot, but Curtis said it. You guys, look, you go watch this. Watch this one again. There were some nuggets dropped in this one. There were some nuggets dropped in all of them that we put out so far. But y'all implement. You know what the difference is? Is
Ah,
implementation.
yes,
It's
sir. Yes,
starting,
sir.
Fonz. It's
Let's go.
starting.
Yeah, you
It's
can have the
putting something
process,
in
but you don't
effect, y'all.
implement it.
Doesn't
Yep.
pick something. Pick anything. It doesn't matter who said it or what said it, but pick something and start now. And you know what? You'll look up, you'll be on the top of the board. No box checking. Let's go.
Box checking, implement. You have to implement it. Yeah, you have all the process, but you don't implement it, you're not doing anything. So the last thing I want to say, pro tip. Hey, I got a pro tip. Pro tip. Quantum leap. All right, y'all know this y'all probably the first time hearing on the podcast about quantum leap, but these guys know. Stop letting people tell you that you're too early in the game to be a high performer. Stop letting people tell you that because you're not from here, it's okay for you to sell that amount of cars. Stop letting people tell you because you don't have a big enough customer base, you can't do that. Stop letting them tell you that. And I want you to go look up what quantum leap is. Going from 0 to 100, from nothing to something huge. You can go from where you at right now to something huge tomorrow because you listen to this podcast and you're going back and what Moose just said, you implement. And don't let nobody tell you anything different. Quantum leap. So that's what we have for tonight. That is episode 4. We went a little bit long on that one because it was hot. So thank you guys for tuning in to episode 4 of No Box Checking Podcast. Remember, we don't just check boxes, we make an impact. Make sure you tune in to the next episode. You don't want to miss it. And check out all social media platforms. No Box Checking. You can find us everywhere. Like us only if you want to be great. We'll see you all on the next one.
No box checking.
Let's
No
go.
Box Checking.
No box checking, let's go. Yeah, yeah. No box checking, let's go. No roadmap left unfinished, we see it through. Clear direction in everything we do. Nothing done halfway, we all in full. Built on discipline, that's the rule. We support every role up front of the line. Sales desk, F&I, one team, one mind. No ego, no silos, just progress and trust. Strong process first, results follow us. No box, checking. No box, checking. Real work, real direction, real connection. Game plan clear, customer always first. Great sales process from start to the purchase. No fakeness, the motto authentic and true. That's how you win, long term too. Fonz, Curtis, Moose. No box checking.